You know how some wounds never quite heal? How they settle deep in your bones, whispering reminders of every time someone told you you'd fail, every sneer, every dismissive laugh. That's how I carried the weight of their words for years. My family, the people I loved most, told me my dreams were ridiculous, impractical, a waste of time, that I'd never amount to anything, that I would just be a fool forever chasing some impossible fantasy. I remember the moment vividly. I was just 23, fresh out of college, standing in the sterile conference room of a major tech firm. I'd just presented my idea for quantum encryption, something wild, revolutionary, almost sci-fi. My boss's face twisted with disbelief, then outright contempt. Are you serious? You're proposing something that's impossible. Nobody understands it and nobody ever will. It's a pipe dream. Just give up. The room chuckled. My colleagues looked away, embarrassed for me, or maybe embarrassed of me. I felt my face go numb as I was humiliated publicly, the rejection echoing through my chest like a gunshot. That day, I was dismissed as a crackpot, a dreamer who had lost touch with reality. My family's words echoed in my mind. "You're wasting your life on nonsense," my father said. "This is just a phase," my sister scoffed. "You'll fail just like always." I left that office broken, feeling like I'd failed everyone, including myself. But something inside me refused to die. That rejection stoked a fire instead of snuffing it out. I quit the tech world cold turkey and turned away from the glossy facade of corporate cryptography. I was done chasing their approval. Instead, I dove headlong into the ancient, the arcane, the cryptic histories buried beneath centuries. I became a linguistic archaeologist, deciphering lost scripts, unraveling forgotten codes, and connecting dots that spanned millennia. And slowly, I discovered something that set me on a different path altogether, a way to combine ancient cryptography with quantum principles, creating unbreakable, almost supernatural channels of communication. It wasn't easy. Every breakthrough was met with skepticism. Every step forward was met with doubts. I faced solitude, ridicule, and endless obstacles, financial ruin, scholarly rejection, moments where I wondered if I'd lost my mind. But I was driven by a single belief: that I was meant to crack a code bigger than any of their small-minded judgments. I knew I was onto something real, something extraordinary. Years passed. I dedicated myself to mastering the cryptographic languages of civilizations long gone. I combined quantum principles with ancient hieroglyphs, Sumerian cuneiform, Maya glyphs, and lost dialects. It was as if I was resurrecting the voices of the past, voices that held secrets, capable of transforming how we communicate, how we secure information, how we trust. And then it happened. I cracked the code. An unbreakable cipher, an encryption so resilient it could withstand any future threats, any hacking, any invasion. But more than that, I discovered a way to use this cryptography to restore ecosystems, to heal lands that had been barren, exploited, forgotten. I developed a system that could transmit information through natural elements: water, wind, soil, rewriting the very fabric of communication itself. It was revolutionary. It was, in every sense, impossible. And it worked. When I finally revealed my breakthrough, the world responded in disbelief. Investors poured in, governments sought my expertise, and my innovations began transforming environments that had been declared dead or beyond saving. I turned deserts into forests, wastelands into vibrant ecosystems, spectacular, thriving landscapes that defied every expectation. And then I returned home. My family, the same people who had mocked me, who had told me I'd never succeed, staring in stunned silence as I unveiled a sprawling, lush garden where once there had been dust and dirt. I had turned their barren land into a paradise. A place where wildlife now thrived, where children ran free among blooming trees, something they'd scoffed at as impossible, as nonsense, as fantasy. Their eyes widened. Faces that once twisted with derision now reflected awe and confusion. My father, who used to dismiss my ideas as foolish, looked lost, unable to reconcile the person before him with the one he'd mocked. My sister's mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. They had no choice but to confront what I had become, what I had always been meant to be. And in that moment, I realized the truth. Their ridicule was a reflection of their own fear, their inability to see beyond their limited horizons. But I had refused to be shackled by their doubts. I had chosen my own path, no matter how lonely, no matter how impossible it seemed. I stepped forward, my voice steady and clear. See what I've built, not just in the land, but in myself. I proved that even the most dismissed ideas, the most ridiculed dreams, can become reality if you believe enough, if you persist enough. I was told I'd fail because I dared to see beyond the present, beyond what was accepted. But I proved that failure is only failure if you give up. They looked at the lush green, the vibrant life springing from the dust. Silence stretched long enough for the truth to settle. I hope you see now, I said softly, that your words could have broken me, or they could have made me stronger. I chose strength, and this is just the beginning. A tear escaped my father's eye. My mother reached out hesitantly, touching a leaf, a symbol of what can flourish when doubt is replaced with belief. The lesson was clear. Failure, ridicule, and rejection are merely stepping stones if you refuse to give up. I left their yard that day knowing I had turned their scorn into admiration, not through words, but through proving what's possible when you dare to believe in the impossible. I realized that the greatest victory isn't in the success itself, but in transforming the doubts of others into your own fuel. Today, I stand not just as a cryptographer or a healer of lands, but as a living testament that no matter how fierce the storm, no matter how relentless the judgment, truth and perseverance can rewrite destiny. And the universe, in its own mysterious way, always returns the favor. That's the karma's ledger, an endless cycle of debts paid in full, with interest. And I am finally, irrevocably, at peace.